Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris from Thunderbolt Defense. I wanted to talk about something that I see a lot on 2011 pistols because lots of people like 2011s now. Like Staccato is one of them that I see over and over and over again. They've really done a great job with making that gun well and accessible for a lot of people so they can get into that 2011 game. All right, get in the 2011 gang, right? But I see this a lot. Okay, you see this rubber band? You guys might see these rubber bands on 2011 style pistols, and what they're doing with this rubber band is they're depressing the grip safety, right? So right now, if I kick the safety off and I don't have the grip safety pressed at all, I can still get the hammer to drop. Now, the reason people do that is because for whatever reason, when they get their grip on the pistol, they're not able to depress this, right? So if this isn't depressed and I go to press the trigger, it doesn't go. Now, a little bit of history for people. The reason why that is the case is because originally, like if you look at a lot of designs that came right before Browning did the 1911, they didn't have grip safeties, and the Army was like, hey, we want a grip safety so that if you're running around and you got your gun off safe and you drop it off your horse or whatever the fuck, the gun won't discharge. And so they put the grip safety in there, or he put the grip safety in there. To my knowledge, my limited knowledge, this is something that still needs to be on this gun if that's a thing that could happen to you. Now, I might not be on a horse, but we certainly have quite a bit more hard surface in our world than they did 120 some odd years ago. All right, so it's definitely feasible that with this pinned, I could potentially drop this, whatever, and it discharges because I have this pinned, right? What we want is, if I've got this safety off and I drop this for whatever reason, or it goes flying, or I get shot in the face, or whatever, this gun drops, it doesn't shoot from the dropping. All right, we had a major handgun manufacturer a few years ago that actually, and they're still dealing with it, they're still dealing with the fallout from it, where they had guns that weren't fully drop safe, and that's not something that we want to deal with. There's also I think Staccato, that recently a very popular gun dude proved that the one model of Staccato wasn't drop safe. I have a video on this channel of me dropping a Canic and the firing pin going forward and just the firing pin block catching it. Now the thing about this gun is, like, this gun does not have firing pin block. Usually you'll be able to see it right back in there. There's no firing pin block. I'm not going to take the gun apart on here because YouTube doesn't like that shit. But this doesn't have a firing pin block. It has the manual safety. It has the grip safety. You don't need to pin it, right? What's happening to a lot of people is this can be tuned, right? So, like, let's say I press it. If I press this, like when I grab this gun, I engage my hand properly here, right? Let me do it. Maybe I'll do it with my left hand. I engage my hand properly here, and the gun, excuse me, the gun, if the manual safety is off, will drop the hammer, right? If I just have it a little bit pressed, right, so safety's off, and I press it just a little bit, it doesn't go. If I press it a little bit more, and I can feel it moving in there, doesn't go, a little bit more, and it'll go. But you see how I've still got all this travel left in here, right? What's going on here is that I have a gun. I have a double, so this is a Nighthawk. It's a double stack 1911. In order to be a 2011, it's got to be an STI or a Staccato because they've got that copyrighted. But it's a double stack Okay, beep beep, 9mm, 1911. So same thing as any other gun that's in this design family. Okay, this is tuned properly though. I've seen 1911s over the years, especially when I worked at the gun store. $600-700 1911s that you could get the grip safety pressed in 99%, and if you don't get that last little micron in there, that shit ain't going. There's other guns that have a grip safety that's hooked up to like a plunger, and that's all fucking bullshit, right? If you're gonna get like the guns that we're gonna see most frequently now, really is just going to be like the staccatos. They're super, super popular, the double stack guns. There's some Turkish imports right now that are getting pretty popular, but who knows if they're any good or not. We'll see over a longer period of time if they're any good. Hopefully they will be. Hopefully they'll be fucking sick, and then, you can spend $1,200 and get an awesome gun. But if you're having a problem depressing this, and you have like a normal hand size, and you're having a problem getting it past like 50%, to the point where you feel like you need to put a rubber band on the gun and then take it from being like drop safe with the manual safety on or off to being not drop safe, you need to give it to a gunsmith and have it tuned so that it activates properly, right? There's a lot of like stuff with these where they can be made not perfect, right? Like this is not a $5,500 gun because Nighthawk is full of shit. It's a $5,500 gun because they are doing everything in their power to make this thing properly. Even if you go to like a Wilson Combat or something like that, where you're looking at like a $3,500 gun, those companies are doing everything in their power to ensure that you're going to have a gun that, activates properly when you grab it correctly. 2 hands, 1 hand, offhand, whatever it is. If you do your job as the shooter, the gun will shoot. If you're in a position where you feel like you're doing your job as the shooter and the grip safety is not getting activated, you need to look at solutions that aren't making the fucking safety go away. And I'm not talking about like, look, if you're shooting guns, there's other 2011 double stack single action 1911 style guns out there that don't have the grip safety. And that's fine if you want to do that. I'm not really fucking with that. If that's your choice, that's your choice. But I think that if you have a gun that has safeties on it, you should be using the safeties. I've even seen this in like striker fired guns, with like the shield, especially like back in the day when the shield, like I worked in a gun store when the shield was like, bro, 8 rounds in that small of a fucking 9mm. Holy shit, this is the best gun ever. We couldn't sell. I sold 2 shields every day that I worked in a gun store for like 2 or 3 years. People would buy the safety version because they'd be like, oh, I want the safety, and then they would go and use the safety, and then they'd be like, oh, well, it's really hard to hit, so I carry it with the safety off. All right, man. That one day that rubber band's gonna slip, or the manual safety's gonna get kicked on, or whatever it is, and it's gonna get silly. You need to fix your fundamentals to make it so that when you grab the gun, it actually fucking works, right? Oh. And then if it doesn't, if you're able to do it on like if you could pick up this gun and it'll depress the grip safety and fire, and then you pick up like your Staccato or your Springfield or whatever, your semi-custom or your like production, 1911, 2011 style gun, and you can't get the grip safety to depress reliably, you need to get the gun tuned. You need to get the grip safety tuned by a gunsmith that's good, to deactivate in the proper range, or you need to fix your fundamentals. There's some things with like hand size and how you do it. Like a lot of people when they grip the 1911, let me actually see if I can do this here. They'll grip the gun here where their thumb is riding over the top of the safety, right? And then see how this creates like a little gap here if I don't pull that in. right? So I want to pull that in and make it so that when I ride this safety, it works. Now, if that is this creates a gap in your hand where you can't do that, right? And I come here, but when I do this, there's no gap. Then you need to maybe do this, right? Or if there is too much of a gap, then you need to again get it tuned. Um, it the solution is not fucking pin the grip safety. I've seen race guns too, like shooting USPSA or whatever, and these guys are like they're not carrying these guns; they're just shooting USPSA with them, where they've got the super tuned up trigger, grip safety's pinned, the whole 9 yards, and I just don't like that. And like people are like, oh, you're safety Sally, kind of. I've been teaching people guns since 2010, I guess, or 2009. I was teaching people gun stuff right after I guess 2010, right after my first Afghan deployment. I've never had somebody get shot on a range I was running. I've never had a student shoot themselves. I've never been present and paying attention for a serious gun accident. And I'm going to keep it that way. And one of the ways that I'm going to keep it that way is like with my 2011 or 1911 double stack, I'm not going to do things like deactivate the safeties unnecessarily because I'm worried about, oh, what if I don't have enough grip strength to fucking do the thing? Bro, the gun works. If you grab it properly, it works. If I don't have enough grip strength in this hand because it's injured to the point where it's not going to work anymore, I'm not sure that I think the chance of me dropping the gun and it shooting by itself with the safety off is a lot higher than that eventuality. But if that's what you're worried about, that's your choice. But I'm here to recommend that we don't do that, right? I do have a lot of people that, follow me on Instagram and stuff, and I'm obviously, trying to get this channel going a little bit more. It just is not worth it to me. So sort of make the calculation in your head, but understand that when they designed this gun, or when the gun was getting designed, the Army solicited the gun and specifically asked for the grip safety, and they called it like an automatically activating safety or something. I watched that video a while back on Alchemy 1911s, or their custom 1911 shop. Really, really nice guns. Super nice guns. Check them out. But they called it an automatic safety or an automatic activating safety or something like that, and that's why they did it, because dudes would drop. If you dropped it off a horse and the safety was kicked off, the gun might fucking shoot, which is kind of a problem, right? Because you got bullets flying around when we didn't really ask for the bullet to fly around. So for me, it's a no-go. If I see somebody in class that's got it pinned, I'm going to have you take it off for class. When you're around me, it's my job to protect you. It's also my job to protect me and the other people that are in class. So I'm going to have you pull that if you're in class with me. It is what it is. Sorry, but I recommend that you just do that anyways, without even me sort of chastising you or guilting you into being safer. It's not a guilt thing. It's just hey, this is my recommendation because I've seen, how these guns work for a long time. And there's a solution. There's a mechanical solution that still lets the gun be perfectly drop safe. And then there's also the fact that you can have this fundamentals and execution element to it, where if you actually hold the gun properly, the gun will work the way that it's designed, and it will shoot when you pull the trigger and you have both safeties activated. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.